invite Mr. Tim Blount, Executive Director, Friends of Malheur National Wildlife Refuge, with a perspective and comments that I think only he can kind of relate to us, and we appreciate you being here and coming all this way. Thank you.
Thank you, Ranking Members Grijalva and Thompson, for holding this important forum. My name is Tim Blount, and I'm the Executive Director of the Friends of Malheur National Wildlife Refuge, an organization of nearly 2,000 members. I both work and live on Malheur National Wildlife Refuge, which was occupied by armed militants in January of this year. During the occupation, my life was directly impacted as I was forced to leave my home under threat to my safety. All refuge staff were forced to leave the area with hardship to their families because of threats and harassment from militia members. My community suffered as well through the influx of undesirable militia and their harassment of other federal employees and the necessary concentration of law enforcement that the situation dictated. Throughout the occupation, I became keenly aware of my surroundings and never felt safe. I found that my trust level was severely diminished. Refuge staff and I had been told that individuals associated with the refuge were at high personal risk. That they had personal information on many of us was disconcerting and furthered the feeling of not feeling safe. I had to pass through Burns at one point during the occupation and was required to have a law enforcement escort before doing so. I now find myself looking over my shoulder, not feeling comfortable, and realizing that I am a victim of domestic terrorism. I love my community, but now I wonder who supported the militia, and in doing so, supported how I and refuge staff were victimized. Malheur staff has worked hard at building a collaborative effort in Harney County between ranchers and the federal government. The refuge staff has also engaged the local community in an extensive effort to complete one of the outstanding comprehensive conservation plans, or CCP, in the entire refuge system. The CCP will benefit all the participants and help protect and preserve the Malheur Refuge and its surrounding area for future generations. It is the result of a close and careful working collaboration with the efforts of neighboring ranchers, federal, state, and county agencies, and concerned citizens. Strong partnerships have been formed to find solutions that will benefit both the environment and those that rely on public and private land. This has been a long road of hard work, and the value that is felt by all involved in the collaborative process is immense. This created a trust with Malheur's neighbors, and many stood steadfast against the occupiers. A perfect example is Eamon Bundy's cutting of a boundary fence that separated the refuge from a nearby rancher. A big show was made of Bundy opening up the gate for this rancher. The next day, this very irritated rancher mended his fence. During the occupation, emotions ran over when Georgia Marshall, wife of Gary Marshall, an area rancher who helped found the High Desert Partnership, spoke at a town meeting.
My name is Georgia Marshall. I've lived here 64 years. My great-grandfather was Ed Oliver. You know who that is? You know the French connection. I am a rancher. I have a BLM permit, several allotments. I have a refuge permit. I have gone through numerous managers and range cons, both on the BLM and on the refuge. I have seen the progress that we have made in this community compared to the shit we went through years ago when you could not stand and talk to a manager, when you could not stand and talk to a range con. But now, we have been making some progress. Granted, it's not a lot of progress, but it's coming. And we have an organization here that stands up for us across the board. It is called the High Desert Partnership. And you may not know a lot about it, but it's working damn hard for all of us. It takes the time to listen across the board to what we all have to say as community, as environmentalists, as agencies, as business owners, as educators. We are the poster child of the ranch community when they see what has happened here in Harney County. We have a CCP plan that was done just a couple of years ago that is unprecedented across these United States on refuges. Have we ever had anybody come and put together a refuge plan in this goddamn nation? Hell no, we haven't. But it happened here, and it happened in Harney County. And you know why? Because we love this county, because we care about it, and we care about how it works for us. We have an initiative to work on the timber initiative in Grant and Harney County to harvest small diameter timber. It's not the best thing, but it's better than what it was. It is getting people in the woods a little bit. At least we're getting some progress there. It starts small, but it's better than how it was. Let's not destroy what we are doing because we think we have to make a stand for everything that's happened in the goddamn past. This is our time now. It is not what we did 100 years ago or 60 years ago or 30 years ago. It's our moment right now. We don't know our future, but I'll tell you what, it's better than what we had. So let's try to keep going. Let's not get caught up like I'm pissed as hell right now. And my boots are shaking, but I'm proud to be a rancher, and I'm not going to let some other people be my face. I am me. This is my home.
Thank you, ranking members.
Mr.
Mr. Blount, I have a question. Your organization raises donations to support almost the 200,000 acres of land at the refuge. What has been the impact of the 41-day occupation? And are you fearful of future activity on the refuge? And what's been the response from your local law enforcement in the area since the occupation?
Well, to answer your question is about being fearful of future actions?
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think we haven't seen the end of it yet. I believe that as anniversaries of things come up, Lavoy Finnecum's death and possibly even Refuge reopening and the anniversary of the takeover at the refuge. I think those things will be attended, and I truly hope that there's not violence involved with it. But even to this day, they still come to the refuge. The refuge has become their Alamo, and so they come and visit the refuge, and they go to the Lavoy Finnecum site, and so these people are still in the community, and people from other states come into the community. So it's not over with yet.
Wow.
So what was your first question, though?
Just has this had an impact on the financial impact upon this 41-day siege or occupation? Has it had an impact upon people even wanting to support the refuge?
It has. It's had a very positive effect.
Okay, good.
As our Friends group has received over $60,000 in donations and membership and support. Our membership grew from 140 on January 1st to currently it's nearly 2,000 members. And these are people that are very passionate about not only Malheur Refuge, but public lands.
Thank you.
So it's been a very positive.
Thank you, and I yield back. I know we're running.
Mr. Blount?
I'd just like to make mention of the National Wildlife Refuge system has 255 full-time law enforcement officers. A study done in 2015 that was sanctioned by the Fish and Wildlife Service says we need 1,149. So protection of those types of public lands is needed. The other thing I'd like to point out is in Harney County, where Malheur National Wildlife Refuge is where it is, the partnership between federal and, in our case, ranchers works, and it is working. And you saw the passion from Georgia Marshall, and I think that's a great model to be used across the United States. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.